Unfortunately, my friend, I do have some bad news for you. See all that clean eating you've been doing? Yeah, that is precisely the reason why you are not in the shape that you want to be in. And why every single time you attempt to successfully drop the body fat and get into that shape, it feels like you're going round in circles. Because clean eating was the exact reason why it took me years, and I am talking years, to actually get that body that I had wanted from day one. But why would clean eating keep you out of shape? You're trying to eat the right things. You're doing the correct stuff. So what is happening? What is going wrong? Well, by the end of this video, I'm going to guarantee that you understand the hidden traps of clean eating, how and why you constantly fall for them, and how to actually move beyond them so that your nutrition starts to become something which helps you towards your goals and isn't your biggest fucking rival that's stopping you from getting there. So let's get right into it. Number one, you guess way too much. Your guesstimating is the equivalent of if you were working in a bank and your job was to basically track the financial incomings and outgoings for a certain company over the last 12 months. And they came to you and they said, how has our income been over the last 12 months? Are we making profit? Are we in a loss? And you go, I don't know. I haven't been tracking the numbers, but it's been a good year. Well, how can it possibly have been a good year if you can't exactly tell us what we've been coming in and what's been going out? Well, I've been having a look at it every now and again, and I would generally assume that what you're doing is correct. So realistically, you're obviously going to have made an income and you're not really going to have made a loss this year. Does that sound a bit moronic? Yes, it does. Now, that company might actually be making a profit, but they might also be making a loss. And if it is the latter, that leaves you sitting looking like the stupid fucking banker who didn't know how to do their job and instead just relied on guessing and seeing how they think. Now, going back to your nutrition, you aren't tracking your calories right now. You're not really doing it properly. And there's usually two reasons for that. Reason number one is, oh, I don't track my calories because it's too obsessive. Can it become obsessive and unhealthy? Of course, I'm not denying that. Generally speaking, we probably all had our first taste of alcohol when we were about 12 or 13 years old. You didn't just take that first sip of beer and automatically overnight turn into an addict. Just like you didn't open MyFitnessPal for the first time, track your breakfast, and all of a sudden you were obsessed with the numbers. You probably just weren't shown the right frameworks. You weren't shown the right way to go about it. But you're just not tracking because you think, oh, well, I'm going to get obsessed if I start doing it. It isn't actually obsessive. And the second group of people that don't track their calories accurately are the ones who guess. And that is the clean eating categories, because I cannot tell you how many of the people I've coached over the last few years who have told me, yeah, my nutrition's alright, it's just my training. And then I go, what are you eating? They cannot tell me what they are actually eating numbers wise. They just go, oh yeah, well, I'm eating pretty good, I'm eating pretty clean. What the fuck does that mean? You need to just go through a period of time where you just track every single thing that you eat and drink. For a short period of time initially, I would probably say for about 30 days, just do that. Just track every single thing that you eat and you use it as data as much as anything else. Just like the bank earlier on, you didn't just go, oh, well, I think you've done well this year. No, you tracked their numbers, their income, their profit and their loss. So you could tell them exactly where their business was doing well and where it wasn't doing well. Number two, when you do begin to track, you make it way harder for yourself than you need to, because you're constantly trying to eat differently every single day. When I find something that I like, I just stick to it. If I find a meal that I enjoy, that keeps me full, that's simple, that's meal prep friendly, I will just eat that on repeat, on repeat, on repeat. Now, this is not me saying that you need to eat the same foods every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days per year. However, if you're tracking, it's going to be a lot easier on your tracking if you can just go on MyFitnessPal and you're on a Sunday night and you can just go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, lunch. You can go ahead in advance on MyFitnessPal and pre-log your foods. You know before you even had your first meal of the day what you've got left for the day, and that will make it so much easier planning your dinner. Because another big issue is that you get to the end of the day and you are potentially way under your protein, but you've hit your calories because you were making it up as you were going along. You need to actually have that bit more preparation, and one of the easiest and best things that you can do to help that is to simply find what works for you and just keep tracking that same thing day in, day out for the majority of the week. Your tracking is going to be a lot less tedious and a lot more accurate if you just find what works for you and just have it on repeat and just pre-log it so you don't need to think about it. You can just eat it. Into number 3, we have your obsession with good and bad food. Now, when you're saying to me, I am eating clean, you're also saying to me, I eat really good. And this whole terminology of good foods. Bullshit. Bollocks. There is no such thing as a good food or a bad food. And I know you're probably going to be sitting there going, oh, but you try to tell me that I can just eat chocolate 3 meals a day. No, I'm not saying that. However, dark chocolate. I have dark chocolate every single day, whether it be with my cream of rice or my oats. 7 days a week, I will have dark chocolate. If I was to remove the dark chocolate from my life, would it really make much of a difference? Probably not. But it's not going to make my life any worse by having it in it, because it's not a bad food. If all I ever ate was dark chocolate, then it's going to become not very beneficial for me. I need you to stop looking at foods as good or bad, because you're almost using this whole I eat good is almost this protective barrier to actually accept, do you know what, I need to change something with my nutrition. On the flip side, what this is also meaning is that you're potentially leading the risk of going into that whole restrictive binge, going too good, and then if you eat anything bad, then you have to punish yourself by eating really, really good. When you're really, really clean and good Monday, Friday, and then you get to the weekend, you have a blowout, you go out, you get pissed, you have a takeaway, you eat shit, and then you punish yourself by getting back to the Monday and going, I need to lock in, I need to start eating really, really clean and really, really good. So then you cut out most of the foods that you enjoy, and you just have a diet which you believe is purely just clean, but you don't actually really fully enjoy it, but you believe that what you're doing is right because it's good, clean food. You're just setting yourself up for disaster. So you get the idea of clean, good, bad foods out of your mind. Start basing foods off of, number one, obviously, do they help you towards your nutritional goals, macros? How do they make you feel? Do they give you energy? Do they keep you full? Do you actually enjoy what you eat? Why that has to be a question is beyond me. Now, I have just last week finished up a 16-week photo shoot diet prep where I dropped around 13 kilograms and I got into quite literally the best shape of my life. And hands bloody down, my nutrition throughout this whole diet prep was the best and most consistent it has ever been. And I thought, why not put that into a free guide? Which is exactly what I've done. So if you go and click on the link below, you will find a link to get your email put in and receive the free diet nutrition guide. I went through the meals that I had consistently throughout my whole prep, how you can make them, but I've also made a free dieting guide, which is essentially going through the little hacks, tips and tricks, essentially the day-to-day small things that I done, which just helped me towards my goals. It is completely free. Link is down in the description below, or it's on my bio, and I hope that it can bring you a lot of value, support and help. Back to the video. Finishing off at number 4 with a little bit of a different one. However, you have this mad obsession with clean eating equals eat anything that says protein on it. Now, quite literally in 2026, if you go into a major supermarket like a big Asda, big Tesco, Sainsbury's, they are going to probably have a whole aisle dedicated to protein. The other day I went into my local big Tesco and they actually had a whole section of their bread aisle dedicated to the Warburtons and Jason's protein section. Protein wraps, protein bagels, protein bread, fucking protein everything. I am not saying that's a bad thing at all. Of course I'm not, because a lot of people are still deficient in their protein. However, people will just tell me, oh yeah, well, I'm doing everything that I can because, you know, I'm eating clean and I'm eating, you know, protein stuff. And they've just fallen for the trap of eating everything just because it says protein on it. Why that is stopping you from getting in better shape is because you're focused so much on just buy anything and eat anything that says protein on it. You're not actually understanding how to get better protein in. A really, really good, simple rule of thumb for your protein products. When you're looking at the back where it says the carbohydrates and calories and fats and proteins, you're going to probably see per 100 grams per item. Per 100 grams, if it is anything under 10 grams of protein per 100 grams of that item, not actually a very solid source of protein. If you've got a product which is 20 grams of protein per 100 grams compared to 8 grams of protein per 100 grams of the item, but both of them say protein, well, to get 100 grams of protein, you're only going to have to eat about 1,000 calories worth of this product. Whereas to get 100 grams of protein from this, you're going to have to eat pretty much double. So whilst they're both protein products, one is actually going to be a lot smarter for you, because going back to earlier when I said that you get to the end of the day and you have way went over your calories and your protein is lacking, it's because you're going into shops and you're buying too many things that just say protein on them. Just trying to eat good and just trying to eat more protein is not the fucking only 1 + 2 equals getting in better shape. So to summarize, I'm sorry, just go through a short period, 30 days, of just tracking every single thing that goes into your mouth. Use it as data. Number 2, stop making your tracking so difficult for yourself by trying to eat different stuff every day. Find what works and just roll with it for as long as you can. Pre-logging it, it will make your life a hell of a lot easier. Stop getting obsessed with good and bad food. You're just leading yourself down a path of fucking self-destruction and disaster. And number 4, stop being such an addict to anything and everything that just says protein on the packet. Please stop falling for the trap of, because you think you eat clean, then you deserve to be in better shape. Maybe, just maybe, you're not actually eating that optimally for your body, aka your clean eating isn't actually that clean, and aka your clean eating is the reason why you ain't in shape.